fuck, that was hard to masturbate to.
Jam on toast!
Hey there, welcome to Jam on Camera. I did toast is to The Hunt. This is week 18 of hashtag We Are Movie Club. I don't care what the other videos say. This is week 18. Trust me. This week we have another newbie, Mette Medicine. And Mette, what did you have us watch? You did warn us about the child molestation trigger warnings, which was very kind of you to do so. But I went into it all ready to just friggin' hate on somebody, like, yeah, you got your jollies off in the wrong place at the wrong time. Let's hunt this motherfucker down. And I forgot that it's not an American movie. It's a Danish movie from Denmark, if I got that correct. So, like, of course, they did it all clever, and it was the exact opposite. So the short sale on this one is that a man is accused of being a child molester when he's not, and they make that very clear for the most part. I guess there's that 5% chance that, like, maybe he could have been one and then just got away with it. So it's all about the reaction of the town he's in to him being accused and not proven that he molested this girl. My love it is I now have my second favorite headbutt in a movie. The first being Red State by John Goodman. That was exactly what you needed in that scene at that time. It was perfect. Because that's what you do. Is I want to get my groceries. I have the right to be here. I have the right to be here. And you take that beating and you put them in the wrong. And you stand up however you need to stand up for yourself. Because obviously this is not a place that involves the police in much of anything if they can ever avoid it. My hated was that how American it made me feel. Like, I was actively angry throughout a lot of the movie, so I guess, like, they did a good job with that. But I just noticed how many differences there are between the place where he's at and how Americans would react, because, like, we're the most unreasonable people ever. And I just think, like, oh god, they would have killed his dog during the trial. They wouldn't have waited for him to be proven whatever. And we would have had people that would have been ready with shotguns when he got out of the taxi after the trial. It's just insane, the type of stuff we are. But it's just really neat to point out, like, well, that's different. Well, this'll happen. No, they went another way. Oh, that's right, this is Danish. The MVP for this was definitely Lucas Mads Mikkelsen. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, he had me the whole way. Totally empathizing for him. He took me on a roller coaster of a ride, and I'm still a little shaky from it, but man, yeah, you sold me, brother. Good job. Let's go on to the categories. Aesthetics. I'm starting to notice more and more with movies that are not shot in America and or Canada. For whatever reason, Canada's really come online and got some top production done. But like we watched We Were Warriors from New Zealand. I've seen a bunch of Scotland movies at this point, or movies that were shot there at least, and they tend to have the same kind of grainy look that this had. And I watched it on Netflix, so I know it's not the quality of the video. It's actually the production quality of the movie, and the place they were at looked pretty bright and beautiful in general. It just kind of had this film over it, so it made the scenes that weren't big, open, and bright look even darker. And I think that's where I'm complaining, not necessarily that the bright scenes didn't look bright. But there's that low quality and the fact that I have to read the thing, and I sat down and I dedicated myself to watching this, because after the first 5 minutes or so, when they get out of the lake and stuff actually starts happening, I'm like, I'm gonna have to pay attention. Yeah, so I got like the one chore I wanted to get done, and then I laid down and watched it. So my attention was pretty focused for this, and maybe not in its favor. And maybe these are how buildings are there, because they're a lot smaller and everything. So maybe that's true to form for it. But it wasn't a pleasing look. It didn't move me like with the tone of the movie. Yes, the world's dark and dreary, not to get him, but that's not what the movie was telling me. He was just saying, like, hey, these are shitty little houses. The supermarket is fine, whatever, but we didn't really get to see a whole lot of different places. It was more important about the characters and more about the dialogue and what was actually happening. They didn't really put too much pains to making it look good, and maybe they knew that going in. They're like, we're only going to have so much budget to make it look good. We're going to have to film on this, and they went with what they could. I think they did a good job for that. It just didn't come out looking the best, and I don't know what you can do for everyday life to make costumery and characters look great. So, like, I have no idea what they could have done better. I'm just saying it didn't do anything for me in particularly, but it wasn't necessarily bad done for what it looked like they had to work with. Aesthetics gets a 75. Character development. Character development was actually pretty good. I was really impressed. Not with his development. He's pretty much the same guy throughout the whole thing, except he has to get pushed to a couple of extremes when, like, they kill his dog and he has to get groceries, and they don't want him there. So, like, he gets pushed there and, like, in the church, but yeah, he is pretty much the same stand-up guy the whole movie. And there was a scene where he throw out his girlfriend and he had to send his son home to his ex-wife. Things like that, but they all are in standing with who he was as a person. It's everyone else in the town that changes, because this one bitch hears something like some little girl says, and then she kind of extrapolates it, and then she brings her old friend in to coerce something that she can actually believe in, so that she can have confidence in spreading the rumor, because that's all it is at that point. You call the police, you get the parents involved before anybody else. You don't go to your buddy and be like, hey, tell me I'm right. What? Why? I have no idea why you would do that to somebody and ruin somebody's life over something you don't know. Yes, if you believe in that, by all means, get the authorities involved. Get the people who are designated to handle those things involved. So we see what kind of people erupt from that and what kind of person starts that. And just... With that said, there wasn't a lot of quality to it. It was more of just the... noting the mass sociology behind it that was impressive. Not necessarily any one character's great development on it. The girl's actually the character that she's portraying is actually a little interesting, like why she did it in the first place. What reconciling is afterwards, and then that once it's done, no one will believe her, and then all the other fucking kids are lying because they're horrible fucking people. Because that's how kids are. Be around a kid for an hour, you'll see it. Some way, shape, or form. Character development gets an 88. Storyline. This is not a story that would ever sell me. It'd be like, hey, what if we do a movie about a guy who gets accused of raping a little girl or molesting her or whatever, and then we just film everyone's reactions to the idea that he did it. Like, it almost sounds like a prank show. Like, hey, let's take this guy and then we'll tell everyone he knows that he did this thing, and they'll all do something, and we'll film it, and it'll be a great movie. It's not a great movie. In fairness, it made me actively angry the whole time, which means it did something, which means it's watchable, which means that they put effort into it and they made something there. It's just not something I'm ever going to watch again. It's not something I'm really going to be like, hey, this is a story you need to hear. It's not something that moved me other than being angry more than usual for an hour and a half. So, storyline gets a 50. Compulsion. I can't say that I enjoyed the minute to minute. That doesn't mean I wasn't compelled to watch it, though, because being actively angry, I wanted to see what the next thing that was going to happen. I wanted to see someone get their comeuppance. I wanted to see that headbutt, but in movie form, because it was insane what happened to him. Like, who kills their dog because some old lady said some shit? No idea. Why, or who in the movie did that? If it was a mystery about finding out who killed the dog, like, that would have been interesting. That would have got me like, oh yeah, let's go into it. Instead, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, this better get better. This better get better. There better be something. And then, like, we skip the part where, like, everyone, like, decides, like, oh, we forgave him, or whatever. And, so I was still angry by the time somebody actually, like, has that ending scene with him. Compulsion gets an 80. Now, if you throw all that up, you get an average of 73.25. For my wrap-up review, I've got to say, what the fuck did I just watch? Oh, what are you doing to me, movie club? But this is why we have movie club, so we can see things that we would never watch on our own, and I like doing that. I like going back and watching things I know I like too, but it is a good thing, especially movies from other countries. I do really like that, where we have people who from all over the world that want to show something from their country. But this movie, Mette, really? Oh my god, I have not got to have a proper conversation with you yet, but you have got to be an interesting person, and I would like to see you on Hangout sometime. I gotta say though, you gotta give this one a skip unless you're ready. Have a powerful movie jammed down your throat and really go on an experience of feeling something, and probably not in any positive direction. Once again, this was a review for #WeAreMovieClub. This week was Mette Medicine. And who do we have next week?
It's Camera, and we'll be watching Nightmare Before Christmas.
Can't wait. Be sure to watch these fine folks and search the hashtag for all the We Are Movie Club reviews and going on, and Saturday Hangouts if you ever want to watch some people who watch movies talk about shit. We talk about movies too. If you use hashtag We Are Movie Club, we'll find your review and get you in on the club. It's really something anyone can jump on and do, but you gotta love movies. So come on, let's see them. I think that's it for me today. I'm Cameron. If you don't like me, bite me. If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels.